7-year prison sentence to Ansals in the Uphaar fire tragedy case. That's the story we're getting at this hour. 2.5 crore rupees fine on Sushil and Gopal Ansal for tampering with evidence in the Uphaar tragedy case. 59 died in the Uphaar theatre fire, remember, in the year 1997. 2.5 crore rupees fine for the Ansal brothers for tampering with evidence is what a court has pronounced just now, and that's the story we're getting at this. Remember, close to 60 people had died in the Uphaar theatre fire tragedy in the year 1997 when the popular film Border was being screened. The cinema theatre caught fire, leading to the death of 59 people, including children. 7-year jail term has been awarded to Ansal brothers, the owners of the Uphaar cinema there, and 2.5 crore rupees fine also has been imposed on Sushil and Gopal Ansal for tampering with the evidence in the Uphaar tragedy matter. 59 people, remember, died in the theatre fire way back in the year 1997 when the movie Border, in fact, was being screened in this theatre in the year 1997. In fact, earlier the court had convicted the Ansals, while the Delhi police had wanted the Ansals to serve a life term. They've been awarded 7 years in prison and a fine as well of 2.5 crore rupees for finding them guilty of tampering with evidence. The Delhi police that was investigating this entire matter had urged the court to award life imprisonment to the real estate barons, brothers Sushil and Gopal Ansal. Anisha Mathur is getting us more details on that. Anisha, right from the very beginning, apprehensions were raised about Ansal brothers, both of them being extremely influential, wanting to tamper with evidence. The victims, the family members of the victims had spoken about this. And today the court has found them guilty of doing exactly the same.
Well, yes, the court had convicted the Ansal brothers as well as one former court employee and three other persons of tampering with evidence in the Uphaar tragedy case. Remember, it had taken a very long time to actually convict the accused in the main case because several key pieces of evidence, including fire reports, including several reports regarding safety and memos of the Ansal group, which had shown that the Sushil and Gopal Ansal were actually the persons responsible for day-to-day running of that entire of the Uphaar cinema. Those documents, which were key documents, had been damaged inside the court files. And now the Court of Chief Metropolitan Magistrate in Patiala House Court has held them guilty and has imposed a 7-year imprisonment on the Ansal brothers as well as the other accused. In addition to that, both brothers will have to pay 2.25 crore rupees as fine, while the other accused will be paying 3 lakh rupees each as fine. All of this fine amount will be paid out to the people who were victims of the tragedy, the family members of those who lost their lives in 1997 in that tragic fire and have had to spend the last couple of decades fighting for justice. Because remember, the trial in this case has been going on for a long time. It had taken a Supreme Court order to even register an FIR. It has taken a very long time for these people who have been fighting for justice. But today, the Ansals will be going to Tihar jail from the Patiala House Court premises. They have been taken into custody. They will be undergoing 7 years of imprisonment and will have to pay 2.25 crore rupees each as a fine for the victims of the Uphaar tragedy. Back to you.
Also, Anisha, just do tell us a little more about this. With the Delhi police pushing for life imprisonment, that has not happened. Also, the manner in which they tampered with the evidence. Talk to us a little more about that.
Well, the manner in which the evidence was tampered, as I was telling you, within the court files, remember, this case was registered because the main case file, which was regarding the death of 59 people in the Uphaar fire tragedy, in that particular file, several key pieces of documents, several key pieces of evidence had gone missing or were found in a torn state. This included the report of the fire department. This included the memos, internal memos of the Ansal group, which had indicated that Sushil and Gopal Ansal were in fact involved in the day-to-day running of the cinema hall. It was also included documentation regarding the maintenance and safety checks of the Uphaar cinema itself, which would have shown that there was specific negligence by the management which led to that particular horrific fire in which 59 people lost their lives back in 1997. Now, with the destruction of this evidence was done within the court's documents as well as in the police documents, and that is why it took the victim families several years to get an FIR registered. One of the people who have been found guilty of this crime is also a former employee of the Saket court, Saket court, where the trial was being conducted. There are people involved with the Ansal group which have been held guilty. And in all of this, the police, the prosecution and the victims had been asking for the maximum possible punishment for tampering with evidence and the criminal conspiracy that was involved in this entire exercise.
Anisha Mathur, thanks for getting us all of those details. Anisha Mathur, with that big story from the national capital, 7-year jail term to the Ansal brothers in the 1997 Uphaar tragedy, in which a fire, in fact, engulfed cinema Uphaar in the national capital in South Delhi, leading to the death of 59 people, including children there in the year 1997. 2.5 crores also in fine for the Ansal brothers.